Hey, let's play Pain Train. This is Homeless Poster.
This is Jackson.
And we're going to bring you the second part of World 3 for our low no-kill run of Super Mario Bros. 3. And I know you guys haven't seen the first video yet, but looks like the first part of World 3 is the biggest cock block. The subsequent levels actually, I don't want to jinx myself, because this is our second or third attempt, but they're not actually that difficult. I chalk it up more to us being buffoons than to the level itself being challenging.
You're a fan of that word buffoon today, aren't you?
I'm a big fan of the word buffoon at all times, all day, every day. If I opened a business, I would open a store that had like those Cafe Press t-shirts, and they would all be themed with the word buffoon. There you go, look at that, just like a pro. You always get nervous when there's like a long empty stretch, because you're like,
yeah,
something's gonna spawn here. Oh, here's your best friend Lakitu.
I hate Lakitu. And that's exactly why I hate Lakitu.
That is exactly a good reason to hate Lakitu, because he's a dick. He floats around in the clouds and drops spikes on you. Alright, well you're gonna go ahead and have some fun with level 4. I'm gonna try and thread my way through level 5. I don't recall this one being too bad the first time.
Now what's the big fish's name?
I have no idea what the big fish's name is. Rodney, the biggest fish in the lake. I mean, that's probably just about as valid as what
I was going to say, that actually sounds like that could be his name. If you had just told me that, you would have fooled me.
So, World 3-5 here, not too terribly difficult for being a water level. Not quite the big fuck you that a lot of the other water levels turn out to be. But it's interesting too, you know, there's such a inconsistent difficulty in a lot of these levels. Some of them, you know, you can very easily, much like that last one, really just kind of swim through it and no hassle at all. Other ones, I think are probably more difficult because of the challenges that we're imposing on ourselves, you know, not using power-ups, not killing enemies, but either way, the difficulty is just so inconsistent with a lot of this stuff. Alright, World 4, here we go. Let's do it. Now, one thing that I have yet to piece together, too, is, like in all these Mario games, they always have these, you know, vertical sphere cylinder kind of things sticking to the background.
These little hills here?
But then, I mean, they're not hills in a tangible sense. Like, it's not like Mario walks up them or down them or, you know, anything like that. Like, what are these spheroids supposed to be?
Well, I mean, I don't know. They were hills in Super Mario World.
Yeah, but I mean, again, they still weren't, like, something tangible that you climbed on. Like, they were in the background.
Maybe you didn't climb on them.
I didn't play the Super Mario World that you played, bro. You were way too hardcore for me. Alright, so here comes Lakitu with his spike balls.
With his bullshit.
This bullshit, absolutely.
His balls of bullshit.
It looks like if you just stay ahead of him, you'd be okay. Yeah, look, there you go. Completely harmless. Now, I believe the next step coming up is the one with the spinning platform that spikes us into the abyss almost every time.
The moving level?
Absolutely. Oh, and so to address something else that somebody had posted in the thread, interesting idea about the Hammer Brothers. If we actually do have a cloud or a jukebox, you could feasibly use those to bypass the Hammer Brothers if they're in a choke point. It's something that we actually didn't think about going into this, but I think it's actually a pretty neat idea. So if we have the opportunity, we'll definitely do that.
But now we have to keep in mind that usually in order to get a music box, for the most part,
right,
you do have to defeat the Hammer Bros or Boomerang Bros.
Yeah, I mean, I think realistically there's probably only one or two that you get from, you know, Princess Peach for defeating Castle.
Which, side note, so first world she gives you a P-Wing, which is pretty badass. But then she gives you music boxes later?
Well, I mean, maybe she anticipated that you were going to have to be avoiding enemies. She was trying to do you a favor. Maybe Bowser and his Goomba Gestapo cracked down on her postage usage. They were like, look, that's way too obvious of a power-up. We don't mind you sending him gifts, but it can't be anything that good.
It can't be a P-Wing?
Yeah. Or, I mean, I don't know, maybe the designers just got lazy, much like with their question block that constantly spawns at the end of every mini-dungeon. I still can't figure out what that's supposed to be, and just decided, you know what, screw it, he's getting a music box this time.
I'm gonna assume it's that one.
Boom. I am all about the stars. Morning, noon, and night, nothing but stars. That's how you know you're like an A+ player.
Is that how you know?
That's like the new games that like rate you and you get like S level.
Oh.
Really? Unnecessary.
I wanted to beat him anyway.
You wanted to beat him? Is that what that was all about?
If I can.
That was intentional, actually.
That was intentional.
He felt really bad about having to kill the Hammer Brothers, so instead he just decided he was going to hang out and let that happen. Alright, let's go this route and see what we can do with World 7. Now, a lot of the practice ones that we do, you would think would make the game a little bit easier for us, unfortunately, we really don't, I think, pay too much attention to what the other person is doing. So it's not like I'm even getting to cheat and see ahead as far as, oh, how did he play this level? It's really just more of kind of like a blind run for everybody. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I tried to superstar it. I tried to just run straight across the gap. Wasn't in the cards.
It happens, man.
Alright, so around the Hammer Brother and on to World 7.
Now, what are these things called?
You know what? I think we've passed the point at which my childhood knowledge of Mario and all of his companions and enemies has pretty much been exhausted. Ouch. Boom. I don't know. I mean, if the mini-boss was Boom Boom, maybe these guys are Throw. I mean, they got
Throw?
Throw. I mean, because it could work either way. Like, are they throwing up the spikes, or are they throwing the spikes? Like,
where do you think the spikes come from?
well, clearly it's their testicles. They've calcified. You got to be kidding me. They've calcified, you know, after years of improper maintenance and use, and now at this point they're so angry at Mario, they hold that grudge against him that maybe he's the reason that they have ossified testicles.
Yeah,
and they're
but
just pitching him at him with as much strength as they can muster.
But they produce several of them.
Well, nobody said that these things have the same anatomy as we do. Like, maybe they're like Krogans. Maybe they have like 4 testicles.
Are we gonna bring some Mass Effect into this?
I don't know why you wouldn't. Mass Effect is an awesome game. Yeah, that was just bad news. There was no way you were getting out of that one alive. Oh, is this continue number 2 for you, big guy?
Yep.
Wowza. So one thing that we did decide is, as we are playing through this, if for whatever reason one or the other of us needs to continue, in Mario 3, when you use a continue, it actually re-puts levels that you have previously beaten on the map. I don't think it's going to be terribly interesting for anybody to watch us replay through the same levels over and over and over again, especially as it generally takes us multiple attempts just to get to the level the first time. So in that case, we're just going to go ahead and skip that level, unless for some reason it's at a choke point. So far, we've been blessed that we haven't had to deal with that.
Well, I think it's going to happen next.
You get what's going to happen next?
I think it's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There we go. Gotta be kidding me. Stop throwing your ossified testicles at me. Jump! Woo!
Wow.
Made it.
That was some maneuvering right there.
That was just luck. That was absolutely blind luck. You know, one thing that I'm interested about is nobody seemed to have a problem with us killing the enemies under the power cards yet.
I mean, I try to avoid them as much as possible, but
I guess at the same time, you know, if you can't lure them out, then what are you going to do? Not beat the level?
yeah.
Do you think you can use a jukebox on this guy here? Do you have one? Bam! And a cloud.
I'm going to have to use a cloud because I don't think there's any way for him to go with the jukebox anyway.
Doesn't the jukebox put him to sleep? Or does it make him move?
I think it makes him move.
Oh. Alright, we'll use the cloud then. No! Oh, will that work? I thought you had to be right next to him to use it.
So apparently the
Apparently the cloud is a lie, huh? That did not work at all like I remember that working. I think it's only the jukebox that you can use to pass those guys. Clouds are for levels.
Oh.
Like if you want to pass a level, I think you have to use the jukebox to pacify those dudes.
Good call.
Yeah,
A little late, but
Lesson learned, right? Lesson learned? Maybe that will be the last Hammer Brother that has to die tragically to our rampage?
I'd prefer to kill as many Hammer Brothers as I can.
Well, I mean, I think that that's the normal mindset when you're playing Mario. You're going to kill as many Hammer Brothers as you can. One thing that I always thought was funny, that I still give my brother crap about to this day, so he's about 3 years younger than I am, and when this game first came out, you know, both being kids, Mario Brothers 3 is a little bit different, or I guess it's not different for the older games, but anyway, you play it back and forth, one player, next player. Well, as a kid, every second that he was playing was a second that I wasn't playing, and I hated that. So to try and encourage him to die faster, I would actually tell him that these floating colored orbs in the mini-boss dungeons were actually power-ups, and if you hit it on the right sequence, like if you hit it when it turned red, you would get the fire flower. He generally fell for it, wiped himself out, and I was thrilled because it allowed me to keep playing.
I just don't know how that happens multiple times.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, being 3 years younger than me, I mean, 3-year-old, 4-year-old generally are not like captains of critical thinking and rational analysis. You gonna go to the gambling world?
Of course I am.
Oh man, hopefully you will have better luck with these than I have. There you go.
I'm going blind.
Eye of the Tiger. Oh
No.
man, not even close. I feel like it should give you something if you get like part of a mushroom,
Yeah.
part of a flower, part of a star.
You should at least get like a 1-up.
Well, because arguably, I mean, that's the same combination you would get if you get the mushroom, the flower, and the star at the end of the level. And at the same time, that's probably a little bit even more challenging to do than actually getting, you know, 3 of something, or the same difficulty as far as the random number generator in this game goes, as getting 3 of something. There you go. You can do this. I actually think this water level, with the rising and lowering tides, is even easier than the first one in the world.
The problems we have with the other ones was that the fish would just jump into us.
Yeah. That did make it kind of a pain in the backside. Whoa, look at this. Oh, I was going to say you're like an Olympic athlete. You're just hurdling him. You know, and it almost looks like there's blocks in the sky that we can hop across.
Is there?
I don't recall that. But watching the screen scroll, that seemed to make sense.
I guess my eyes weren't focused there.
Well, see, I didn't actually have to worry about whether or not you were going to,
Wow.
I'm not sure how that worked.
I think the game really
was doing me a favor on that one.
Gave you, yeah.
Doing me a solid.
Cut you some slack on that one. You going for it?
No.
You might as just wait.
Better play it safe, right? But now the tide's starting to rise. I think the trick here is that you just got to stay on these elevated blocks, and then hope that you get back up to high ground again before the fish comes after you. Yeah, I mean, really, there's not even a lot of enemies moving around the screen in this level, so as long as you avoid that guy at the bottom, it's not too much of a pain in the butt. Oh, man, I thought it was all about stars.
I was going to say, what happened to all the stars?
You know, I talk tough. Puh, that was terrible. I talk tough, but just, you know, sometimes you get performance anxiety. Now, one thing that I always liked about this world as a kid, as you can see, there's a little boat docked down in the bottom corner of the screen. There's a rock blocking your path.
You always like the boat?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed getting a little boat and like paddling all over the place. You can actually use it as a shortcut to get to Mushroom House, and I believe it carries some, you know, randomly obviously, but it carries some of those suits that you can get, Tanuki suit, hammer suit,
I love the Tanuki suit.
Yeah, and I don't think you can previously get them, you know, otherwise till this point in the game, or I think maybe you can get a frog suit in World 3, and I think you can get a Tanuki suit in World 2, but it's the first time you can definitely get the Hammer Brothers suit, and that's really,
what?
That's ridiculous. That went right through the block.
It went through the block. It doesn't go through the block.
That is ridiculous, man. But yeah, I always loved the fact as a kid that you could go to those two mushroom houses, basically get the items for free, and you could then get the Hammer Brothers suit. And then it always just became a challenge of how long can I keep the Hammer Brothers suit for. Now, what do you think was the more popular power-up overall, the Hammer Brothers suit or Karibo's boot?
What do you mean by popular overall?
Like
outside of the game,
yeah, like if you ask people nowadays, like, hey, what was the best power-up in Super Mario Bros. 3? Like, which one do you think that they would come up with?
Well, I don't think they'd pick either of those. I think everybody.
You don't think they'd pick either of those?
I think everybody would go for the raccoon suit.
Are you kidding me?
It's
the
most
Tanuki
memorable.
suit? The Tanuki suit?
Yeah.
That was like the least useful, though. You turn into the statue and
no.
maybe enemies walk by you?
No, the raccoon.
So just the raccoon tail?
Yeah.
Just because he's on the cover of the box, or
yeah.
what?
I just think that's the most memorable one.
Ah, okay.
So I mean, if you're talking about just the most notorious, that one.
See, because I absolutely think.
Now, yeah, if you're ever going like usefulness.
God, same as the other time too. This is ridiculous. Come here, you. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was always of the mind that Karibo's shoe was like the most awesome power-up, and it really sucked that like World 5 is kind of the only area, or I think then also World 7 in one of the levels you can get it, but primarily World 5 is the only area that you get to use that, and it always made me curious like why that wasn't like an actual power-up you can get in the game, like an overworld power, you know, like the P-Wing or like the music box, because it was so freaking awesome, and if you play through the game normally, there's only a couple stages that you get to use it in.
Yeah.
You know what I would love to do? Well,
I don't know what you would love to do, but go
well,
ahead.
I'm gonna tell you, not that I would personally be capable of doing this, because I know next to nothing about computers, but I think it would be totally cool if there was like a ROM hack where you were just Karibo's shoe, like for all the levels. I mean, that's my nostalgia of whether Karibo's shoe was actually that decent of a power-up. Oh, you're... Oh,
are you kidding me?
Oh. Come on, come on. There we are. Ooh, so it looks like carrying that block is not the best way to complete that level. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a break right here, and it looks like we're going to go ahead and split up World 3 into 3 separate clips. But we'll come back next time, we'll finish World 9, we'll polish off the castle, and we'll jump into Giant Land in World 4.
Cool. See you guys later.
See ya.